Every month we round up the best new mobile games. We already did the paid, here's the free ones. I'm Falcon, and today on gameranx, the best free iOS and Android games of March 2017. Number 10 is Planet of Heroes, which is a 7-minute matched action MOBA with very simple controls, left-hand moves, right-hand executes. Now this game does a lot to set itself apart. First thing, there's no way to spend actual money on making your PvP experience easier. That is something I appreciate deeply. That already sets it apart from most free MOBAs, PC or phone, and although the concept of not totally obliterating your game with microtransactions is starting to catch on a little bit, let's just say it warms my heart. This is more than a competent game. It has a lot of personality, great characters, a great control scheme, but one very minor ding. Unless your connection is awesome, there's a tiny bit of lag. Number 9 is Juggle, a game where you play as a fish that swims around in circles and essentially plays Pong with itself. This game has incredibly simple controls. All you have to do is touch the screen and the fish moves, specifically in a counterclockwise fashion, and you just have to make sure that you continually juggle all of the different jellies on screen. Get it? That's the title of the game. Now this sounds like a very simple concept, but believe me, it gets hectic very quickly. And although it is kind of tough, it really actually is more fun than anything else. It's really an enjoyable game, despite its simplicity. It's one of those games where the concept is simple, but the game ends up being hard and you become totally addicted to it. But if you know Black Hole Joyrider, another one of the developer's games, then you get exactly where I'm coming from on that. If not, just know that it's not impossible to get into, not tough to learn, but getting particularly good at it, well, that's a different story. It's a really solid game, and I've very much enjoyed it. Number 8 is Dynasty Warriors Unleashed, which you will be shocked to find out actually works really well in a mobile format. On top of that, with touch controls that are basically a simplified version of the real controls. Now granted, your viewing angle is a little bit different on mobile. It's kind of to be expected, but it really plays exactly like how you might expect it to. There's also additional modes to allow you to drop yourself into combat different ways. And yes, you do play battles against large numbers of people. Now, I'm not going to say that this is absolutely everything you could possibly ask for in a Dynasty Warriors game, but it's pretty close. And considering the format, it's pretty amazing what they've accomplished here. Dynasty Warriors is a hell of a lot of fun, basically on any format, but now they've added mobile, and I would highly recommend it because, again, it's free and I love Dynasty Warriors. Number 7 is Bit City, which is going to make you think of SimCity, and although it does have some similarities, you need to know that it is an idle clicker game. Now that being said, it is a damn good idle clicker game, made by the developer of Tiny Tower, Pocket Trains, and Capitals. It's not astoundingly advanced by any means. It is fairly basic, but it is not too basic in that you always have something to do, and on top of it, it really builds a very pretty city right in front of your face. This is basically an idle clicker for people who do not like idle clickers, and for that, a huge amount of credit needs to go to the developers. Number 6 is Gunpie Adventure, which is an interesting take on an FPS. The aiming is done through dragging, which I know sounds a little counterintuitive when you have tapping, but it does actually work very good given the context of this game's other stuff. It does take a tiny bit of getting used to, but I have a feeling you'll be able to without much effort. The game is actually full of personality. It's a bit generic looking at first, but after a little while it starts to get more interesting. It's really arcadey, but there's also some RPG elements as well as a competitive PvP mode. There's more than enough variety in this game to keep you coming back, and I honestly think they kind of finally figured out how to do a FPS right, on mobile. It's not perfect, but they keep getting closer. Number 5, Comie 2, which if you remember the first Comie game is a very calming puzzle game, but at the same time, you end up getting obsessed with it. The name of the game is folding and filling the screen with one color in as few moves as you possibly can, with these absolutely beautiful paper-looking puzzles that, frankly, it's just an altogether different experience for a puzzle game. On top of that, they now have player creations, and as per usual, a really relaxing and fantastic soundtrack. Number 4, Cube Escape: The Cave, which is the 9th game in the Cube Escape series. It continues the storyline of Rusty Lake, which I'll be honest with you, I haven't played the previous games, but it's not powerfully necessary to have done so. This is really a fun escape game that has a lot of interesting plot twists and turns that makes me want to go back and actually play the other games. Now, the graphics aren't going to absolutely amaze you or anything. They're pretty, and as you continue to learn more, it gets more intriguing. Somewhere between an escape game and a full-blown adventure, this is one of those games that just pulls off the genre perfectly. Number 3, Power Rangers Legacy Wars. If you kind of know the social JRPGs, you know the format, except for it's a franchise that, well, is going to bring a lot of nostalgia to a lot of people. It has locations and rangers from the new movie as well as the old show, and has really fun PvP actually. It is actually a great looking game as well, and has all the great kinds of music that you might expect out of a Power Rangers game done right, because that's exactly what it is. Number 2, Crash of Cards is an online car battler that might at first seem as though it might kind of be trying to rip off Clash of Clans or Clash Royale, but it's not. There's 4 maps with real-time player battles going on right now, and the gameplay is chaotic and fun as hell. I mean, you're looking at the same thing that I've played, right? You're seeing the footage of the game right now. It's everything it looks like. It's seriously that well done. If you think that looks fun, you're right. It is fun. I have to recommend Crash of Cards. And finally, number 1 is a card game. It's definitely kind of the arena version of a card game. Not terribly complicated in rules, and definitely intended for short bursts of gameplay, but if you ask me, that's the best kind. Also, I'm a big fan of Elder Scrolls, so frankly, that's just a bonus. It is a good card game, and I enjoyed the hell out of my time with it. It gives you a good campaign as well as a great versus arena, and it's well worth your time. A quick bonus game for you, Super Mario Run came out on Android this month, and it's every bit as wonderful as it is on iOS. Which game was your favorite for the month? Leave a comment, tell us what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you want to see more, click subscribe because we upload brand new videos every day, and we thank you very much for watching this one. I'm Falcon, you can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.